So, how does NoFap ruin lives? Well, I've spent some time thinking about this and I've nailed it down to what I actually think the biggest problem with NoFap is. So, you're focusing on quitting porn. That is a problem, don't get me wrong, because you're then distracted from actually achieving your goals, you're distracted from maybe building relationships and ultimately just focusing on what you actually want in life instead of the thing you don't actually want. So you got that distraction. You may be watching some videos on NoFap. Well, you're here, so you probably are. You're also maybe in like some NoFap communities. I was for a long time. You may not be, but you're just focusing your mental energy and your time on trying not to do something. But the problem with this, at least from my experience, is you're then failing anyway. You're not actually succeeding in this thing you're focusing on. And I really don't think there's many feelings worse than focusing a lot of time and effort on something and continuing to fail. I went round in a cycle, 9 years, focusing on something and failing to succeed in it. And that really wasn't good for my self-esteem. Every failure just led to a lot of frustration, sadness, shame, and it was really difficult. And it's not like playing football. I play a lot of football, and the more you play football, the better you get at it. The more you focus, spending time watching NoFap videos and trying to quit porn, it doesn't change anything, because the only moment that really matters when it comes to addiction recovery is when you have the inevitable moment of desire. You are going to want to look at porn. That is because you have addicted neural pathways. So maybe 90% of the time, you don't want to look at porn. Maybe 99% of the time, you don't want to look at porn. So you're watching these videos, you think you're making progress, you think you're actually improving yourself somehow. But then in that 1% or that 10%, when you actually have that inevitable moment of desire, you have the craving, it's in those moments that you have an opportunity to rewire the addictive neural pathways by making a choice to willingly accept the temporary discomfort. That's how you actually change the brain and quit porn for good. Now, we teach a very specific method where you have a tool, and I'm not going to get into that today because it's like a 3-hour program, but to kind of just condense that into one short bit of information that can hopefully help you, what I would say is the most important thing that you do is have some kind of tool or a method ready for when you have that inevitable moment of desire. You need to know how to deal with the urge. If you don't know how to deal with the urge, then all of the research into NoFap and quitting porn is essentially pointless, because you're going to have that urge. And it's only in that moment that you actually change the addictive neural pathways. And that's why all of this research and focusing on quitting porn and talking about it is pretty pointless. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. So how do you create some kind of tool? Well, for me personally, I have a script where I read through a benefits list and I read through a consequences list of engaging in the compulsive behavior. I think through how actually this is a choice. I can look at pornography. I accept and willingly feel that discomfort of, I've got this craving, this doesn't feel so good right now. And I think it through and make my choice. I make a choice. And that is how you change the addictive neural pathways. You can do something similar. So I really, really recommend writing down how this porn issue is making you feel, writing down how you're going to feel from overcoming this problem, and thinking through that compulsive desire. Now, if you do want more help with this, then get in touch. You can watch the free training. A link is in the description. That will really help you understand the Beyond Compulsion method in more detail. And then when you do stop doing the whole NoFap stuff and you actually rewire the addictive neural pathways and you have a tool ready to deal with any urge, that's when you just go and live your life, and you're beyond compulsion, you're beyond pornography, and you're just free to think and do whatever you want, because you know if an urge comes up, I got this. I know how to deal with it. That to me is real freedom. Counting numbers, passing by, and then failing time and time again, that is the opposite of freedom. So make a choice today to go and figure out how to actually deal with urges. That's the number one thing if you want to quit porn for good. I really hope this video does help you, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.